Hello guys, welcome. In today's video we are going to talk about generators. That what are generators and how can we use them in our program. And then we will discuss about our first practice program to create a generator function that will return the sequence of even numbers till the argument of the function ends. And then we will discuss about the generator comprehension. It is similar to the list comprehension almostly, and then we will discuss the differences between the generator and list comprehension. So these all the things we will be covering in this video. So if you want to learn about generators, please stick to me at the end of this video. So let's get started now. So what are generators? Generator in Python are a special routine that can be used to control the iteration behavior of a loop. So as we discussed in previous videos, the differences between the iterator and iterable functions. So generator is iterators. It means that the generator function will return an object, and to print that object we have to use the for loop or any loop or while loop we can use it. Alright, let's proceed further. So how can we use them in our program? That the iterators. So to understand this basic concept, first we need to know about the yield statement. Now first let's make the program and then we will discuss about the yield statement. Now first I am going to create a function called num and assigning an argument to it, and I am going to use for loop to range 1 and plus 1. Alright, and then I have to use here yield. I will discuss what this statement is doing, and then as we discussed, to print any object I have to use for loop. Now I am printing num. Suppose the argument is 10, and then I can print simply j. So now let's discuss what this program is doing. So this is the simple generator program that I used. So what is this yield statement is doing? So first let's discuss its functionality. So that the yield statement suspends functions execution and sends back the value to the caller, but retains enough state to enable function to resume where it is left off. When resumed, the function continues execution immediately after the yield run. So what is it doing? So basically what yield function is yield statement is doing here, it is suspends the function loops execution and then send back its value to the caller. So it is doing it again and again, and when the loop is started. So to gain in generators, so yield is basically a generator statement we have here. So it takes the value from the object to us. It takes value one by one. So that is why we have to use the for loop. Alright, to gain the value or to take the value from an object, we must have to use the for loop. Alright, and then after taking all the values and returning it to the caller, and then we are using again for loop and we are giving the argument, which is the 10 number, which is 10 is the argument which will be assigned to an value, and then we can print by using the for loop. So as you can see, if I run this program, you can see that all the 1 to 10 numbers are printing here. Alright, so as you can see, if I comment yield statement here and again run this program, you can see that it is generating an error. Why it is generating an error? Because there is no value in num. There is no value in num. Why there is no value in num? Because we do not yield anything here. So yield function suspends the rotation and then send, suppose for number the first rotation we have is 1, so it takes 1 and send back it to the num, and then the second and third and almost all to n plus 1 for all the rotations to n. Alright, so there, if I again run this program, you can see that it is working fine. So I hope that I am able to understand you about the yield statement. Now let's proceed further. So now we have a practice program. You will get more clarity in this practice program that we have to create a generator function which returns the even sequence number till the argument of the function ends. So first we have to take the argument of the function. So I'm going to input it from the user. So remember that the argument of the function must be an integer data type. So if I just input here, it will take an string data type. We have discussed it. Alright, enter a number. So I have to write here integer. So it takes the number whatever the user entered in integer data type. Now I am going to create a function called generator, and suppose b is the argument of the function, and then I am going to again I have to use the for loop. So the range of the for loop is again 1 to argument plus 1. Alright, now I have to check I have to separate the even numbers from the odd numbers. So I'm going to so I have to check the remainder must be equal to 0, so that if this condition is true, that we can yield I. So that is how we can use yield. So if we can put the condition, and if this condition is true, then we can yield this value to the function or to the caller, we can say that. And then I'm going to use the for loop for even in generator, and the argument of the function is 20, so it can separate even numbers from 20. And then I can directly, I have to use here colon, and then I can print even. So as you can see, if I run this program, I have to write the number here. So whatever I write here, I write here 5, so I have to write here n. So because n is the argument of the function which I should give here. So if I again run this program, you can see that if I write here 20 and press enter, you can see that it separates even number from in the range of 20 sequence. So what if I write here directly 20? What will happen? So it still asks me to input the number, because of course in the first line in my code to input a number in integer. So suppose I write here 33 and press enter, you can see that 20 will be given as an argument of the function. Now whatever we have write, we can also take from the user as an argument of the function, or we can also write directly the number here. It is up to us. We can do in both ways. So as we discussed, I write here again n. So again suppose 8, and it is working fine. Now let's proceed further. So we have the generator comprehension. So as comprehension, we discussed earlier in previous videos that it helps us to short our code. So the generator comprehension is basically the same as the list comprehension, but instead of using these square brackets, we will be using the round brackets. Alright, in generator comprehension, we will be using these round brackets. Now I am going to create a program by using the generator comprehension to print the square from 1 to 10 numbers. Alright, I am going to create a variable squares, and then I'm going to use the round brackets because I'm using the generator comprehension, and then I'm going to square it, and then using for loop in range. So range is 1 to 11, and then it is closed. So to print any generator, as we list, as if I was using the list comprehension, then I could directly print this square variable just without the for loop, because it was the iterable data type. As because I am using the generator function and I am using the round brackets here, which represents the generator comprehension, so I have to use the for loop for I in square, and then I have to print I here. So as you can see, if I run this program, you can see that from all 1 to 10 numbers has been squared. So what if I comment this line, and if I directly print it as we have, so it will return the object. You can see that if I run this program, you can see that it is directly returning the last number. You can see that it is directly returning the, because why it is returning the last number, because generator takes value one by one, one by one, one by one. So it, whatever the value we have in last, so it directly just print it. So what if I just instead of I just print the square. If I just print the square, it then now it will return the object. Why you can see that it is returning the value of the object. Why it is returning the object, as we discussed, that it is the iterator data type. So to print any iterator data type, we have to use the we have to use the yes, now this working perfectly fine. Now we have to use the for loop or any loop to print the value from the object. So you can see there there is the valid question from you guys. You can ask that why we are using list comprehension if we have generators, or why we use generators to print the values by using the loops. We can also doing this program by using the list comprehension very easily. We don't have to use the for loop in list comprehension, right? So the answer to that question is this, that generator occupies much less space in the memory as compared to the list. It is because the generator yields one atom at a time, and generates atom only when it is demanded. Whereas a list comprehension, for the when we are using the list comprehension, Python reserves memory for the whole list in the memory. So thus we can say that that the generator expression or the generator comprehension is much more memory efficient than the list comprehension. All right. So that is why we are using generators, because they are faster, they are memory efficient, and they are occupy much less energy than the list comprehension. I hope that's all about generator. Let's meet you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, guys.